Hello, it's Mark from Saphrox Studios. Today we take a look at a pedal I've wanted for years. Over the years, there have been many guitar pedals. Pedals such as the Ibanez Tube Screamer have simply become iconic. Original Tube Screamer models are highly desirable pedals, incredibly expensive and highly elusive. Now, everyone has a completely different take on pedals. Each have their own flavors and some suit certain genres over others. A player's pedal board is a very personal collection of sonic tools. What suits and inspires me is not necessarily going to suit the next guy. Along my journey, I have seen many pedals come to market. Some have become instant classics, while others have simply disappeared. Now, just because a pedal disappeared doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't any good. Some of those pedals may have just been quite limited on their sonic tool use, or they simply could have been marketed to the wrong people. Some of those pedals have stuck completely in my memory, and I've used them and thought at the time, this thing is fantastic, this is great, I can see its use here, use it there, etc. And I really wanted to have it on my pedal board, but unfortunately I was not in a financial position to invest. Over the last few years, I've been using the usual auction sites, trying to search and hunt some of those great pedals down. And let me tell you, when a pedal doesn't sell that well originally, it's incredibly hard to find. So last week I had one of those magical notification sounds alerting me to the fact that one of those pedals on my list was up for sale. So I snapped it up and here it is, I hope. As you can see, I haven't opened it yet, and the description on the product was quite small. It said it had been tested and it was working, but it didn't say much else. Now I can tell from this package that there is no box, which probably means there's no manual. So hopefully the pedal is going to be working absolutely great. So let's get stuck in and see what I got. Woo! Yeah. Oh. Oh yes. Alrighty, so we have an Ibanez LF7 Lo Fi pedal. I wanted this years ago, so this pedal is probably 19 years old-ish now. So like I guessed, there is no box. We have 4 perimeter controls, which are from the Tone-Lok range, which push in and hide. So very cool, and they all seem to be locking in position, which is great. Got a 3-way selector switch, which normally was the mode, but this now says mod F. Don't really mind about that. The pedal seems to click nicely. The spring's working great. We've got no mess in there from the a battery that's been left in there for too long. Got a little bit of pedal board rash on the back, but that's absolutely fine. You'd expect it after a pedal of 19 years. Shows that it's probably been used a little bit, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Rock and roll. Happy so far. The Ibanez LF7 was from the Tone-Lok range of pedals, released back in 1999. They had this awesome lockable perimeter control feature where you can set your settings, dial in your tone, and then lock that sound in place. So when it goes into transit, they don't get adjusted, which is great. Made setup at gigs and rehearsals so much quicker, and this is all pre the whole big digital world. So yeah, it was a really great little feature, and I don't know why other manufacturers or Ibanez didn't continue using something in a similar sense. So the Tone-Lok range of pedals comprised of 17 different models, and they were all released at the height of the nu metal scene. Now, Ibanez was the go-to guitar brand for many of the artists in those nu metal bands, and the pedals were marketed to that kind of audience. So the nu metal scene was mainly followed by teenagers, and teenagers are notorious for being, what are the words? Oh yes, skint, completely broke, no money at all, completely and utterly penniless. Well done, marketeers, well done. So Boss were the brand for the flush player. So the Tone-Lok range seemed to disappear almost as fast as it came, though one pedal, which is the wah pedal, the Weeping Demon, is still available today. Goes up against the likes of the Dunlop pedals and the Morley pedals, And yeah, and I suppose possibly because Boss, although they do have a wah, it's not really amazing. So yeah, so the Tone-Lok wah pedal is still available from Ibanez today. Ibanez still has one of the most iconic guitar pedals ever, and that is the Tube Screamer range. The Tube Screamer came out years and years ago. They've had various different models down the right, and the TS808 and the TS9, for instance, absolutely iconic pedals. So they still heavily rely on that, reissuing various bits and pieces and having different versions of each with mods, etc, etc, etc. They also do the usual effects types, the flanges, the phases and delays, etc, in a mini version. So they still do electronics, but yeah, heavily rely on the Tube Screamer name. So the LF7 is a filter pedal. It has 4 main perimeter controls made up from drive, low cut, high cut and level, with a 3-way selector switch just on top, giving you 3 different voice options, labeled up as guitar, drums and mic. In the mic option, it gives you 1 extra feature, which is a built-in boost, so you can actually plug a mic directly into the pedal. So let's take a look and see whether this one does any of that. Right, the LF7's now wired into my amp, and it is the last effect that my audio signal goes through before it enters my power amp. So that means that it's actually post preamp, it's post absolutely everything. It is the last thing before it goes into the volume creating device, the power amp, okay? So all tonal audio sonic tools are all pre the LF7. So here is, without the LF7 activated, here is just my basic clean sound. Okay, fairly clean, fairly nice. Now with the LF7, I have set the drive knob down to 0, and I've set the low cut to no low cut whatsoever, so full frequency is able to run, and the high cut is set to full frequency to run. Now, when you look at the actual parameters for the low cut and the high cut, they actually look opposite. It's like the low cut is set to 0 and the high cut is set to 10. Well, if you think about it, the way the frequencies are working, the low cut is going to cut from the underneath the frequency. So the low frequency is going to bring up. And the high frequency is like at the top, which is going to come down. So the fact the 2 parameters face the opposite way is kind of like you're bringing the high cut will be bringing the ceiling down for the highest frequency allowed to pass, and then that the low cut will be bringing up and chopping off everything that is underneath that. So it does kind of make sense why the parameters are facing opposite. And then of course we've got the level control, which is turned up full. So let's hear the pedal engaged on this clean sound in the LF7's most neutral settings. So we will hear a change because of course there is an effect being activated, but this is its most neutral setting. Okay, so there is the LF7 activated in its most neutral setting. Now, there's a little bit of a grittiness about it. There's like an underlying drive, even though the drive is off 0, it still has an effect. So the lo-fi feature is kind of, you know, it is starting to degrade the signal, even though it's in its most minimal settings. Right, let's see what the drive does. Okay. So you can hear it's kind of rumbling, but it's almost like it's layered. So the drive is almost sitting in the background, and then you've got the clean original dry signal is layered over the top. So it's still got clarity, but it's kind of got this extra texture to it. So it's not like a drive pedal. If we turn that drive up full, see exactly what we're getting. Right, let's see the different voices. So the voices we're running at this moment in time are the guitar voice. So let's stick it onto drums and see how the two different voices compare. So I'm going to turn the drive back to, let's say 12 o'clock. Now, on to voice 2, the drum voice. All right. Switching back. Guitar, drums. So with the drum voicing, there's a lot more low frequency being accentuated. I don't know if it's accentuating it or whether it's just in the guitar voicing it's being cut. So let's turn the pedal off and then back on. So I'd say it's actually accentuating the low frequencies when it's in drum mode. Quite like that tone actually. Okay, I'm going to switch it back into guitar because I want to use this as like a filter. So I kind of like the drive where it is, but I'm now going to start to bring the low cut up. So let's see if we can start to reduce the low frequency tones and see what options we got here. So that's full low cut. Kind of cool. Put the drive up. It's kind of a cool sound. I like that. So, there's the low cut back. Let's bring that drive up to the top. Let's bring the high cut down. So let's mix the two together. So we're going to bring the ceiling down for the high and bring that low cut up. What we got now? So off. This filter is, it's just a massive EQ, but it's a simplified EQ. If we now stick some delay onto this kind of tone, we'll see how we can create some sort of ambient tone. So. Kind of degraded, and I kind of like that. It's nice. Right. So when I want to use this mainly is basically on drive to really kind of reduce the drive tone right back and then have massive impact when everything sort of goes full frequency. So let's see what we can do with a drive tone. So I'm going just to reset this pedal back to sort of a neutral setting again so we can build this. So we'll turn the drive right down, the low cut right off, and the high cut right up. Staying on guitar. So let's go over to our drive tone. Pedal on. Okay, let's start to bring in the low cut and the high cut down. So. That's kind of cool. I like that. All right, so there is the LF7. I think it's a great little pedal, a great little effect, and it does exactly what I remember it doing years and years ago, and it does it as well as I wanted it to. So yeah, that's really, really cool. I think when you're trying to go for a pedal that is named lo-fi, you're not looking for high quality, but the actual tone that you get from that is exactly what I want. So yeah, all good. I know it's basically a glorified EQ pedal, but you try and make those kind of tones with an EQ pedal, you'd be spending a fortune on a pedal, and you probably wouldn't achieve that sound so easily, and it would also probably be kind of a waste of your EQ pedal, which you can use in other ways. So yeah, all good. The pedal, 19 years old, it's in fairly good condition. I think I'm going to have a look at the old push switch because it's not activating 100% of the time, so I can't trust it on stage. I don't want to be stomping it a million times until it works, and yeah, problems. But that's fairly easy to change out, I reckon, so we'll have a look at that. I haven't shown you the mic mode. I haven't used the mic with it. I did try it with the guitar. It basically just, like I said earlier, boosts the signal up, so everything sort of starts to clip. And it produces a tone which is probably usable, but because it's just so boosted with everything else I'm using, it really kind of, it's not a pleasant sound for me. So yeah, for working with a mic, you could just plug a mic straight into it and it's going to boost your level up, which is cool. If I wanted to create a sound in the studio, then yeah, I could stick it on mic mode and then flick it around, and it gives me extra clipping features, but it's not a tone that we're going to go for through today. All of the knobs seem to work absolutely fine. There's no sort of crunchiness, no dirty pots, etc. And all of the things pop in. So yeah, really cool little pedal. I spent £45 on this. The original, when they came out, was about 75, I think. The sale price nowadays, going secondhand, seems to go from about £45 up to about 96. So £45 spent. I think I got an absolute bargain there. Obviously I got no box, but yeah, pretty cool little pedal. So I'm chuffed to bits with that. So there we go, the LF7 Lo Fi pedal from the Tone-Lok series of Ibanez pedals, released back in 1999. Hopefully, if you're interested, you'll still be able to track one down on the old interweb. But yeah, excellent little pedal in my opinion, and sadly gone too soon. But there we go. Remember, we have a load more tips and tricks videos, product reviews and lesson tutorials on our YouTube channel, so please subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any comments, please write them in the comment section below. It'd be fantastic to hear from you. I've been Mark, Saphrox Studios. See you later.